Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. Today I'm going to show you 3 things you should never do to the new Keurig machines. So this applies to all the current model Keurig machines that Keurig is selling. Here I've got just a sample of some of the few. We've got the new K Smart, K Express, K Classic, K Mini, and the other K Express Essentials. So this applies to all their other models too. But the number one thing, and I've not learned this from myself, but I've learned it from other viewers who've told me, never remove the tank when you are brewing a cup of coffee. So you will notice when you get a coffee maker, there is this warning. Now I peel this off right away. Never thought too much of it. I'm thinking, well, who would ever remove a tank? You know, do not remove the water reservoir while brewing. So I've had now 3 or 4 viewers tell me that it will break the Keurig machine. And I have seen this warning on just about every Keurig that comes out. Now I took it off of this one. I'm pretty sure it was on this one too. So at first I thought, well, I'm never going to remove the tank when I'm brewing. But I did have a viewer say that something got caught. So there is some of these tanks do have some like little tracks in here, and it will make you think the water tank is down all the way, but it's not. That was one thing that happened. One thing that would happen, it got accidentally hit. I could see that happening. So if I hit this tank, it is going to lift it up, and it's going to break that where the water comes into the machine. So when you're doing a brew, says it's brewing, you can hear the machine working. When the water is actively coming out, and even when it's doing the whole brew process, leave the water tank alone. This will permanently break your Keurig, as far as what I know, what other viewers have been telling me. And Keurig reminds us about this warning in the instruction manuals and with this sticker. Hopefully I didn't break mine. An error just occurred. I've never had that before. So by me messing around with the tank, did I cause something? Ay, ay, ay. Okay, so something definitely happened. The brew like stopped halfway. Okay, so I unplugged it, plugged it back in, took the pot out. I'm just gonna do a hot water rinse. Hopefully I didn't break my machine. So yeah, I've never had that happen. I've done lots of brews with Keurig machines. That was the first time, but that's the first time I ever messed with the tank. Whew. These things are awful expensive to break them just by messing around with the water tank. So it does appear to be working again. Now, I didn't physically remove the tank while it was brewing, but just even messing around with it like that there did cause a malfunction that I hadn't seen before. So let's look at all these water tanks. You just, again, want to make sure that they're on there properly and you're not going to remove them. This is the K Mini, even it's got a K Mini Plus, it's got a removable water tank. Make sure you don't get anything down there that would prevent this from being inserted all the way. And same with the K Express Essentials. So now for number 2. The number 2 thing never to do to a Keurig, use distilled water. Now, distilled water is different than bottled water or filtered water. Bottled water and filtered water, as long as it doesn't say distilled, has minerals in it. So you can use water out of your tap that you get. You could use water filtered through a Brita, and you can use bottled water. Just you cannot use distilled water. And they sort of talk, they'll say a note, do not use distilled water. I'll see that kind of in several places in the manual. So Keurigs and coffee makers have heating elements inside them. And for the heating element to work right, it does need some minerals in your water. Now you can use distilled water and add minerals to the distilled water. I had a viewer tell me that he adds a specific amount of minerals. There's some packets you can buy to brew some really good cups of coffee. I've not done that yet, but I just know that there are some machines that distill water, and that's not what you're supposed to use. And as far as what I know is your machine will work for a while, but then the heating element and the internal components are probably going to break because you're using distilled water. And they do say the coffee doesn't taste as good either. And I don't know much about distilled water, but my grandpa had a machine that distilled it. It was kind of a big machine, and it kind of heated it up and all that. It was kind of a process to distill it. But again, just look at your bottled water as long as it doesn't say distilled water. Now, some people will use bottled water because their water might be really hard. So if you have really hard water, it has a lot of minerals in it. Now that can be bad for Keurig machines also. Too much minerals, it'll build up on the heating element too quick, and you're having to descale it quite a bit more than normal. So my number 3, I've had a lot of viewers talk about clogged needles, especially on this one, the K Slim and the K Mini. When you leave a K-cup in here after you brew, so like here I just did a coffee and the K-cup is in there, it's pretty common it's easy to leave the K-cup in there. You grab your cup of coffee, you don't think about it, you may leave for the day, you may come back, but leaving a K-cup in here overnight will eventually, you're going to get quite a bit of buildup on your top needle, and especially on this single needle, and it will stop the machine from working. I know it's kind of, I didn't think it would happen at first just by leaving something in, and you know, how can something clogged up here? But coffee grounds that are wet will eventually work its way up into that needle, and you can clean it. I mean, you can clean it, but you'll be brewing coffee and people say they hit their K button and the machine, nothing happens. So then they're like, oh, it's broke, I need to get a new one. But all you have to do is you have to clean the needle with a paper clip, and it is an easy fix. But to help prevent that is don't leave your K-cup in there after you're done brewing. Remove it each time. And you can go one step further. You can, so when you remove your K-cup, you know, maybe once every 3 or 4 brews, just close the lid. Just do a freshwater rinse with no K-cup in there. That's going to help kind of keep things clean. So these are just my experiences. I've had a lot of viewers comment on my Keurig videos. They tell me kind of what's going on with them. I really appreciate everybody's coffee journey. I feel like we're all on this journey together, and everybody's been a big help. I'm using a lot of things that people are telling me in my comments. Several of my videos have been from people leaving comments. I really appreciate the help, everybody. That's the purpose of my videos. I just want to help people. And I think these 3 basic things, I just want to make everybody aware of them. The water reservoir, the water tank was a little surprising to me, but I have had some viewers say it does break it. And the K-cup, leaving it in there, that was a little bit of a surprise to me, but I do believe that one. I have seen it for myself. And the distilled water, you know, I read that a lot with coffee makers. You know, I see that almost in every coffee manual, and everybody that's talking about coffee, when we get into discussion of descaling and water, they all say you should never use distilled water. So check out my other videos. I'm going to be doing a video. I got every current model Keurig they make. I'll be doing a big video on that, kind of showing you the pros and cons of each one, the price points and everything. I'll be doing a descale. I got descale videos on all of these. I got how to clean the needles on all these, on all the current model Keurig machines. So thanks everybody for watching, and if you could, please like and subscribe.